Hello and welcome back to my Wednesday Lunch Lives. I'm Helen, a transformational coach and creator of Phoenix Rising, a 6-month intensive one-to-one coaching program that works on building your scaffolding, so your mindset, habits and behaviors, as well as your thoughts, your thinking processes, as well as your patterns, and gets rid of any fears or blocks that you have that is stopping you from being everything that you know deep down you're capable of. So today's Lunch Live is the third in the Employee to Entrepreneur series, and I am joined by a lady called Jo David. Jo is the co-founder of Zebra Finch Digital. They are an agency who support design-led businesses such as architects or interior designers, and helps them communicate their unique creativity through the digital platforms. Jo is a mum of 2. She lives in the country in the homeland of Wales, and we met when we were both on the employee side of the fence. And so without further ado, let me introduce Jo. Jo, so
Hello.
welcome, Jo.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me today. And without further ado, let's dive in. Can you tell me a bit about your journey? So from that sort of employee world to becoming entrepreneur, what was that journey for you?
Yeah, so after I had my second child, I kind of realised I didn't want to go back into the corporate world, and we wanted to move out of London, and we wanted to kind of follow our dreams of living in the countryside, which was what we did. But then when my youngest child was about to go into school, I kind of realised that I did want to get back to work. But I was kind of reluctant to go back to the corporate world because of the time that it takes to, commit to that kind of world of work. And I just thought that with 2 small children, I couldn't commit the hours to it, as well as the commuting time. So I kind of mulled over working for myself, and I thought, no, don't be so ridiculous, I can't do that. And I actually spoke to one of my friends who was actually self-employed, and she said, look, come along to this networking meeting, come and meet some other people who are self-employed and just see what you think. And I did, and it was really great because I was really inspired by what it was they were doing and how they were doing it, and it all kind of seemed to work for them. It was hard work, obviously, but it just felt like actually I could do this. So I started exploring, how to get into the world of working for myself, really.
Yeah. And so I know a bit about your sort of your journey in terms of the different guises of what that looked like, but tell us a little bit more about sort of how you started, what you were doing, and how you got to co-founding Zebra Finch, and tell us who your co-founder is.
So I studied, my degree was in marketing and business studies, and that's the kind of corporate role that I worked my way into, was working in marketing and digital marketing. And so it kind of was a natural transition, really, to set up a freelancing role for myself, going back into digital marketing. Because I had a 5-year break from working, I did actually have to start, doing some online courses, reading up all around, the changes that happened in that 5 years, and just brushing up my skills. That's what I did when the kids went to bed at night. I was studying, really, to get myself back into the whole freelancing role. So I've done that for a couple of years, and as of last year, when the pandemic hit and I had to work from home, as well as teaching my 2 children, as well as having my husband at home as well working, I decided to pare right back and just focus on looking after the kids, really. I did still carry on some core work, but it was in that time that we kind of really had the time to reflect on what it was that we really wanted to do, because we realized that freelancing for both of us, for both my husband and myself, just wasn't really working out. It says freelancers, but I didn't really feel very free.
Yeah.
Especially my husband, when he was kind of more contracted as an employee, rather than, he had to work the 9 to 5, and his life was very busy, which meant that family time was very far and few between. That's not what we really wanted. So we decided that, combining our skills. He's a web designer and mobile phone app designer as well, and decided that, look, our skills are completely suited. Why don't we just try and work together and build up our own agency and do our own thing and be in control of what we want to do? So yes, as of September, we kind of started looking at how we could do that.
Fantastic. So you are working with your husband.
I'm working with my husband, yeah. And if you'd asked me this time last year, I would have said absolutely not. There's no way I'm working with my husband. You know, that's just ridiculous. But actually, you know, because of the whole pandemic thing, I think we actually realised when we were kind of working on our own thing, we're bouncing ideas off each other because we had no one really else to ask, and we weren't going into the office. And actually, we were really helpful for one another, and you know, we were coming up with some ideas, and actually thought, actually, we could work together. Well, obviously, we have to put in boundaries to that, but I think, yeah, we do bounce well off each other. So I thought, why not?
Fantastic. Okay, so let's move on to some of the questions, the burning questions that I have for you.
Okay.
Can you describe your typical working day? So far in this series, the answer is there's not a typical working day. So I don't know if you feel the same, but tell me all about Joe's typical day at Zebra Finch.
Yeah, so I have some key tasks that I need to kind of complete every single day because I manage social media for a lot of my clients. There's certain things I need to go in every day and just check things have happened as I've, you know, allocated the work out to do, that it's actually gone ahead. So I have a few, you know, key tasks that I need to check off every single day. Then the rest of the day is my oyster, really. I can do what I like. So it's a mashup of, you know, is there any key tasks that I need doing on that particular day? Is there stuff that I need to do in my business, whether it's accounts or marketing stuff that I need to look at, or any training courses that I've signed up to complete? And I mix that in then with what the kids need doing. So if there's stuff that they need doing, any activities, or I just kind of mix it in. So really, I don't have a typical working day. It changes on a daily basis, really, I think, which is great because, you know, who wants a boring day?
Exactly. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. Yeah. Okay, and moving forward, so what is, in your opinion, the very best bit about being your own boss or being an entrepreneur?
I think it is just being in control of what it is that you do. And I've got you know, I work with a team of other ladies who are also entrepreneurs, and you know, some of the things that they say is, you know, you question, you know, should I do this in my business? And they say, you can do what you like. It's your own business. Do what you want. So I think that's it, is actually taking the best bits and trying to push more for the best bits. And those bits that you don't really like doing, you can try and outsource, which is great. So I think it's actually being in control of your life, really. It feels more like you have control than when you work in a corporate role, I think.
And that being said, you know, it's not necessarily all sunshines and rainbows. So I wanted to hear about, you know, the things that you actually find hard as your boss. So whether that's current challenges or it has been your biggest challenge, but what is the hardest thing, or what has been the biggest challenge since you became your boss?
I think for me, and I totally underestimated this when I started working for myself, was my mindset. Like I think when you work in a corporate role, you don't really need to think much about your mindset because you're given tasks to do, and you go away and do it. There is a little bit of mindset in a corporate role, but actually doing it for yourself and going out on your own and having this, you know, everyone talks about the imposter syndrome. You think I'm not good enough, and taking all these different courses because you think, I'm not as good as the next entrepreneur that I've seen doing this, and I need to be as good as they are. So I think for me, working on my mindset, which is I've really enjoyed doing actually, and reading up all about it is fascinating to me. But I think for me, it is my mindset.
And what do you think the best thing that you've learned so far about your mind, like that has helped you in that area, do you think?
I think for me, it is about, you know, the fear factor, really. You know, you'll always have these worries, but you've just got to, the only way you can overcome these fears is just to go out and do it, and just to keep doing it. And then those things that worry you, they become less of a worry and they just become normalized again. So for
Mhm.
me, it's just constantly trying to push yourself and knowing that how you're feeling is actually okay. Most people feel like that.
Mhm. Fantastic. And right, so going back, putting yourself in those shoes of when you first were making that decision of becoming your own boss, what is that one piece of information that you think that you wish you knew then that you know now?
I think it's surrounding yourself with people who are in a similar kind of doing a similar thing that you are, self-employed journey, because being self-employed is quite lonely, really, and you doubt yourself a lot. But when you can surround yourself with other people who are doing similar things, they can lift you up, they can give you advice that you wouldn't normally be able to get hold of, and they can just support you, and you can ask silly questions, and obviously no question is silly, and yeah, you just get a lot more support and you can reach your targets much easier, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I didn't do. I think a lot of times I can do it on my own, I can do it, and then realise that actually, no, I need to put a supporting network of people around me.
I think that's such a big thing. And I think that's come through in quite a few of these interviews. And I felt it myself as well. That sort of loneliness and building up the structure that you need around you, whether that's helping actually doing the do or just, support or just like putting the right bits in place that help you be able to do the job that you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And now is the big moment. The golden nugget of wisdom. So, there's going to be a scary little cute cat with your face on it, Joe, saying Joe's nugget of wisdom. So whether this is a life maxim or this is just something like, what do you want to share that is your golden nugget of wisdom?
So for me, again, it's back to this mindset thing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's and it was from a book by Susan Jeffers, which is "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway."
Mm-hmm.
And the golden nugget from that is, you're always going to feel fear. As
Yeah.
long as you're progressing, there'll always be fear, and that's okay.
Mm.
Just go and do it anyway. So that's kind of what I'm kind of following at the moment, and I'm telling my kids that as well. It's like, you're always going to feel fear when you're learning new things. It's normal. Just
Mm-hmm.
go and do it anyway. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm pushing myself to do.
Fantastic. Because I think so often we're taught that if it feels scary to or our instinct is to back away or to hide again or
Yeah.
to move away from the scariness rather than interpreting that feeling as this is normal, this is right, this is you need this to be able to look after yourself, but also move forward into growth.
Yeah, I mean, before that, I would be like, well, I'm just comfortable doing this. I'm happy. This is fine. But actually, the growth appears in those moments that are really difficult, and you learn from it. And you've just got to, just keep going, keep going. Don't shy away from it.
Fantastic. That's a lovely golden nugget. Thanks, Joe. And so before we finish, if you can just give us your shameless plug. So what can people who come to Zebra Finch Digital, how can you help us? What can you do for us? And yeah, so just let us know.
Okay, so first of all, we're just really lovely.
Of
We're
course.
down to earth. But basically, we help people who understand the importance of good design, and we'll help you communicate your unique creativity across various platforms, so websites, social media platforms. So Zebra Finch Digital, we are experienced in helping businesses with their branding, with website design, mobile phone apps, and we also help with social media marketing, whether we do that for you or we'll help you, we'll teach you how you can do that for your own business. And we also help with email marketing as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, Joe. It's been lovely chatting to you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm sure we'll be in touch again soon.
Yes.
I'm just going to take you out here a second. So thanks very much if you're joining us here or if you're watching this on the replay. Next week, you'll have just me, and I'm going to be talking a bit about my story and about my journey from employee to entrepreneur. It's going to be the Easter holidays, so we might get some sort of video bomb from a child maybe, but I'll be back here same time, same place next week. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.